What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Friday Gamer Log. As usual, I'll be talking about the games that I've been playing recently, what games are getting ready to come up here in the direct future on the YouTube side of gaming, and I'll talk about a game or two that I plan on buying in the future. So, without further ado, let's get this thing started. As far as Wind Waker is concerned, I made a little more progress. I entered the Tower of the Gods and came across this weird statue that told me to take it to the Point of Truth, or something like that. It was kind of weird, and I didn't know what he meant at first, but I quickly figured it out. As soon as I put the second statue in place, I learned a new song called the Command Melody. The first place that I got to use the Command Melody was here whenever I found the second statue. I had to stand on a switch as Link and then play the Command Melody and take control of the statue and take it across. Which I thought that Command Melody was pretty cool. I enjoyed using it for what little bit of use it got. And I look forward to seeing maybe what other puzzles it revolves around. I mean, I know for a fact that I won't learn it now, then never use it again. Right after I got the second statue, I wound up fighting the mini-boss, which I thought the mini-boss was really cool, but also really easy. I mean, I didn't have any problems at all with the mini-boss. They show you his weak point right away at the start of the fight. I knew that that had to have been his weak point. So I just targeted the mini-boss and waited for the right time to hit the A button, and I knocked off his chest plate, and then from there it was really easy. And I still had fun with this mini-boss battle, even though it was really easy. And right after I defeated the mini-boss, I got the treasure of the dungeon, which was the Hero's Bow, which is really cool. I mean, I always look forward to getting the bow in all the Zelda games. That's one of my most used items. Right after I got the bow, I made my way to get the third statue, which didn't take very long to do. So I got the third statue and then wound up taking that back to the main area where I put the other two statues. I put the third one in place. Then this little cutscene here occurred with the three different statues lighting up each other or whatever they're doing. Right after they did that, it opened up a portal, which obviously I entered the portal. And it took me to another area where I had to go find a key, but it didn't take very long to find the key that I needed. And right after I got the key, I made my way towards the boss of the dungeon. The boss of the dungeon was really easy. I didn't have any problems with the boss of this dungeon at all. I mean, right at the beginning of the fight, it opens up its two hands and shows eyes on the hands. And then having the bow, it's obvious what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to shoot all the eyeballs with the bow. The next phase of the battle, I didn't quite understand what to do at first. He opens up his mouth, and I thought that he had to shoot an arrow at the thing inside of his mouth, but whenever that didn't work, I just went through the phase again, and then whenever he opened his mouth, I tried out bombs, and that wound up being right. Overall, though, the battle was really easy. I didn't have any problems, I didn't lose much health, and didn't even use the fairy that I had. But I completed this dungeon and everything. Right after I completed it, another scene occurred with the story where the King of Red Lions took me underwater. And I seen what looks like the old Hyrule from probably Ocarina of Time. I wanted to take my grandma back in Outset Island, a ferry, to make her feel better, but this cutscene occurred right after I completed that dungeon, and I didn't get to take her a ferry. As soon as I seen this area underwater, my first thoughts was Ocarina of Time Hyrule, for some reason or another. I don't know, the castle just made me think of Ocarina of Time for some reason. But I thought that the music was really cool that played during this little cutscene here as well. Right after I got to the bottom and went through the last bit of the cutscene that was left, I went ahead and saved and quit in Wind Waker. But the Tower of the Gods wasn't as big as I thought it would be. I was expecting it to be quite a bit longer. I'll probably have to go back to it later or something maybe, I don't know. We'll see what happens though. As far as Metroid Fusion is concerned, I made a little more progress. I destroyed this machine here after I got the Super Missile download data. Data downloaded, whatever. This thing didn't take very long to defeat. It wasn't really all that hard. And once I had this thing down and out, it started flashing a lot and then jumped through the ceiling and made a bunch of stuff fall down that opened up a path for me to take. continuing my path, I wound up going to like a night-based area, I believe, where I wound up fighting my next boss. Yeah, like I said in the previous gamer log, I kind of like the way how the eyes work in this game, but whenever I made it to the next area, a little core thing was sucking the data from the machine. I was supposed to download data for the various suit, but the core took it before I got to it. And obviously I did the battle with it. The core battle in each boss battle is always the easiest part. They're really easy to manipulate and destroy, in my opinion. But whatever the case, I destroyed this core and got the data for the various suit back. I was expecting Samus to look red whenever I got the various suit, but she looks more yellow. Speaking of which, even though I played through this game once, I played through it with somebody who knew what he was doing, and he knew the path through everything, so this here is pretty much my blind run. I don't remember anything about it or whatever, so this is pretty much my first run of Fusion, since I'm doing it by myself. Whatever the case, I made my way through the game some more and unlocked the yellow hatches, the level 3 security ones. Which after that I made my way towards another data room and downloaded data for power bombs. Or not power bombs, but ice missiles. And after I got the ice missiles and whatnot, I again made even more progress. I made quite a bit of progress in Fusion this week. And little cutscene happened where an alarm got set off and I had to go fix it all up within 6 minutes. Which, as usual, in most Metroid games that do that, they give you more than enough time. And I fought this weird core type thing that sucked the data for the I almost called it wave beam, but it's called a wide beam. But I defeated this thing pretty easily. It didn't put up hardly any fight at all. Most of the cores don't, though, I guess. But after I defeated that, I got the data for the wide beam back. At first, whenever I read wide beam, I didn't remember it at all from my previous playthrough. I was wondering what was so special about it. I actually enjoy using the wide beam. But after I defeated that core, I got the cooling system operational again. And then after that, I made my way even further. They said that there were some survivors on the main deck. I was expecting humans, but whenever I got the lock disengaged, it turned out that it was the friends from Super Metroid, which I thought was really, really cool to see these guys again. I didn't expect to see them in any other Metroid, but it was nice to see them again, like I just said. Right after I got that lock disengaged and got them freed, I made my way a little further into the game to a data room that I had already been to. This is the data room that I got the data for the power bombs in. Which is pretty cool. I've had my fair use of power bombs so far in my run. Whenever I can't find out where I gotta go, I just light up a power bomb and see if it opens up a hole for me in the floor or the wall or something. Next up, I came across this frozen Ridley, and that thing flew out of it. I followed it for a little while, wound up back at my ship, I think. Can't quite remember, but whatever the case, I wound up fighting this thing here, this weird spider. It gave me trouble at first, but I got the hang of the first form pretty quickly. This form here, or this phase of the battle here, is what annoyed me the most. The head was bouncing around all over the place. I found that to be very, very, very annoying, personally. But it wasn't anything that I couldn't handle. I got that all taken out and destroyed the core. Right after I destroyed that, I got the space jump ability back, which it was nice to have that. And yet again, I made even more progress in Metroid Fusion and kept moving on, and I wound up getting the power started back up. I forgot to note that the power went out and I had to get off the elevator a different way. But right after I did that, I went ahead and saved and quit after I did all my business in the navigation room. As far as Mario 3 is concerned, me and the friend that I started the file with continued. Well, actually we didn't continue the file that we had started last week that I was talking about. We actually started over because the game was giving us some trouble. But we started over and made our way through Worlds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and most of World 7. Whenever we got to World 7, we got to this fort and we kept dying on it. I decided to use my Cloud and my Starman to skip it and then just blaze through this level to get the power up to help us out there. Usually I don't have problems on that fortress. I guess I was just having an off day or something. But I skipped this level to get the item, even though it's just a mushroom. Heck, anything would have helped. But he died on the fortress on his turn, and then whenever it came to my turn, I meant to use the mushroom, and I accidentally used the warp whistle that I got from the Fire Brothers in World 2. And so we wound up completing every level in the game except for 2, the fort and the fortress in World 7, because I made that mistake. But anyway, after we did the whole warp thing, we went through World 8 completing all the levels and wound up finishing off Super Mario Bros. 3. It was his first time beating Super Mario Bros. 3. I had beaten it quite a few times, though. Yesterday, on Thursday, I had to do a road trip up to another town, and while on the road trip, I decided to take some Game Boy games to keep me occupied on the way to the other town. I had never beaten any of the Ninja Turtle games for Game Boy, so I decided to take Fall of the Foot Clan with me and beat that. I did pretty well, at least I think so anyway. I made it all the way to the 5th level, and then I game overed on that. But you can pick to start from whatever stage you feel like in this game after a game over, or even whenever you're just starting the game up, you can start wherever you want. So I just started back at stage 5, and I wound up beating it. It really wasn't that bad. But I thought it was kind of nice to be able to say that I've beaten at least one of the Game Boy Ninja Turtle games now. It wasn't the best Ninja Turtle game, by far from the best, but I still enjoyed playing through it. Coming up this week, as far as YouTube gaming is concerned, we're going to be finishing off our no-death run of Life Force. We only have a few levels in it. There are only 6 levels total, so that won't take us very long to do. As soon as we finish off our no-death run of Life Force, we're going to be starting a no-damage run of Adventure Island 2 for the NES. Whenever I was younger, I used to rent Adventure Island 2 all the time. I really like this game. It's a really fun platformer. You take control of this guy named Master Higgins, and you get these tomahawks to chuck at enemies and kill them. You can also get some dinosaur buddies to ride on, and they'll help you out. And you can ride on skateboards and whatnot. It's a really fun platforming game. If you're into platformers, I'd recommend this game. It's quite a bit of fun. Like I said, I used to rent it all the time as a kid. It's probably my favorite Adventure Island game in the whole series. As far as games that I would like to play goes, or like to buy goes, I'd really like to get Super Mario Advance 3 Yoshi's Island, which is just to my knowledge, it's just a port of the Super Nintendo game. But I really enjoyed the Super Nintendo Yoshi's Island, and I'd like to have a portable version of it, so I'd like to get a hold of Super Mario Advance 3. I never quite understood what was up with the numbering of the Super Mario Advance games. Mario Advance 1 is Mario 2, Mario Advance 2 is Super Mario World, Advance 3 is Yoshi's Island, and Advance 4 is Mario 3. It's kinda weird, but whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing this week and what's getting ready to come up on the YouTube side of gaming. And, well, that is it for today's Friday Gamer Log, and I'll see you guys next Friday. Thank you for watching.